Bonjour et bienvenue à notre réunion de midi. Et aujourd'hui, on sera très bref avec les annonces. Juste pour vous rappeler que nous organisons un briefing technique sous embargo à 13 heures, donc juste après notre Midday, sur le pacte pour la Méditerranée, en amont de la réunion du collège de demain. Et nous espérons bien évidemment que ce sera utile pour la préparation de vos publications. Et voilà, c'est tout pour nos annonces aujourd'hui et on peut passer à vos questions. Karl.
Karl Meyer for the French Daily Les Echos. A question about the French budget. The new French government has announced a suspension of the pension reform, and I wonder whether the Commission has measured the fiscal impact, and if the Commission is worried about France's trajectory, fiscal trajectory.
Merci. Karl, je comprends que c'est juste pour l'instant une annonce, mais pas lâche.
We are in the phase of assessment, so we take note, of course, of the recent announcements by the French Prime Minister to suspend the implementation of the 2023 pension reform. The Commission continuously monitors fiscal developments in all member states, including in France, as you know, as part of our regular surveillance under the Stability and Growth Pact. And I think it's important to point out that here we are talking about an announcement, so it's not the day yet to draw any conclusions. Of course, we'll carefully follow this debate in the French Parliament, and we will be formulating our position on that basis.
Thank you. Balázs, other questions for Balázs? No. Other topics? Noureddine, on passe aux affaires extérieures. C'est ça? Voilà. Vas-y.
I have a question on Gaza. It's very short. If Anwar could provide us an updating if the EUBAM Rafah mission is deployed, how it is going on the ground as far as he knows. Thank you.
Thank you, Noureddine. Yes, the update on Rafah, Anwar.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the question. The EUBAM Rafah mission remains on standby to deploy to the Rafah crossing point in support of the Gaza peace plan as soon as conditions allow.
So this is the latest indeed on this. Noureddine, you have a follow-up question?
Could you elaborate a little bit about the conditions allows? Which conditions are now not allowing on the ground? Thank you.
Thank you, Noureddine. I will not be able here to go into the specifics, but we remain on standby and we stand ready to deploy at short notice.
Okay. Other questions on foreign affairs for Anwar? Yes, please.
Thank you. Mustafa, report. I have follow-up. The Israeli government announced that Rafah will not be open. So any comment on that?
Thank you very much. Look, our position is unchanged, and I will here reiterate it. We, as EU, we call on all parties to fully implement the agreement without further delay, allowing for the establishment of a lasting ceasefire, the release of all hostages, and the access and sustained distribution of the humanitarian assistance at scale into and throughout Gaza. And when we speak about the plan, obviously that includes point 8 of the plan, which refers to the crossing point and henceforth also our mission.
Okay, other questions to Anwar? Mose, I see that you have a question still on this, possibly still on this topic.
Yes, thank you very much, Paula. I have also a related question because I think more worrying perhaps is that the Israeli government has also announced, I think yesterday, that they will reduce the amount of humanitarian aid into Gaza because of the failure by Hamas to find or turn over the remaining dead hostages from Gaza into Israel, as was agreed It should have been done already on Monday. That's very worrying, I think. What is your comment on that? And Anwar, and more importantly, what do you think that EU can do to support both sides to overcome this problem so that the other steps in the Trump peace plan can be properly implemented as everyone wants and would like to do? Thank you.
I think Moza, this has been already replied by Nuruddin, basically by the parties abiding by the plan, by all parties, both parties concerned, abiding by the plan. Anything else that you'd like to add, Anwar?
I would maybe like to hear coming to also correct proactively what we have been seeing in some reports, because there is some mixing up and that requires some unpacking that I'm happy to do actually here. The EU BAM civilian mission will actually allow, once the crossing point is reopened, the transit in and out of Gaza of individuals, right? So individuals agreed by the parties, including, which means not exclusively limited to, those who require medical care and accompanying persons, which means that the mission is focused on individuals, right? Then humanitarian aid goes through the crossing points. And in this case, in terms of crossing points that are open, two, including Kerem Shalom, Karem Abu Salem. So that's an important detail, not to mix or confuse the aim of the mission. The mission is aimed at individuals, while the humanitarian aid goes through the border crossing.
Thank you. Also for the clarification, Anwar. Any other question to Anwar? No. Other topics. Jorge.
Hello, Paula. I have a question on trade. Yesterday, Donald Trump threatened to unleash what he called trade punishment against Spain for its refusal to meet NATO's 5% target. Can you, as Commission, guarantee that Spain will be protected against this retaliation and that the terms of the EU-US trade deal will be upheld? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Jorge. So, first of all, we need to be very clear here that we don't comment on hypothetical scenarios, and that's what we're talking about here. What I can say is that in a general sense, the first thing to recall is that trade falls under the exclusive competence of the European Commission, acting on behalf of all EU member states. So, we will respond appropriately, as we always do, to any measures taken against one or more of our member states. And I also remind you that we now have an EU-US trade deal in place. This is a platform for addressing any further trade or trade-related questions.
Jorge, follow up.
Yes, thank you, Olaf. But in your view, is it possible for a foreign country to impose a specific tariff on a member state, or does the customs union prevent this from happening? Thank you.
Jorge, I've been quite clear that we're not commenting on hypothetical scenarios. This is a hypothetical scenario. I'm happy to discuss the fascinating details of trade policy, tariffs, measures, etc. with you in detail, but not from the podium.
Thank you. Other questions to Olaf? Yes, please.
For the Deutsche Welle, I have a question, perhaps I don't know if it is to Olaf, but the question is on regarding the Migration Pact and the decision that was supposed to be delivered today. We all now know that it had been postponed, and we are trying to know when can we expect it.
That's why I ask you for your patience. It will be for Marcus, not for Olaf, so we'll just make sure that we go through all possible questions to Olaf today. Razia.
Hi, Razia Akoch, AFP News Agency. I just wanted to ask in relation to a comment made by the Trade Commissioner. He mentioned something about speaking to Chinese officials. So I just wanted to ask, is there something in the diary and just how those engagements are going with China on the export controls issue? Thank you.
Thank you, Razia. I understand that Commissioner Šefčovič is meeting his Chinese counterpart, the Commerce Minister Wang Wentao, next week. I don't have the details to hand. Let me check that and I'll come back to you in the afternoon. And such a meeting would precisely form part of our engagement with China, particularly in relation to the concerns we have about recent measures. So engagement is happening, and when it happens at political level, that would be a welcome opportunity to discuss these matters in detail.
Indeed. Let me see. So we have two colleagues who already asked questions, but we go back to Carl.
Yes, if I remember well, the Commissioner also said that some European companies already had to stop their production because of a shortage of some minerals or rare earths. Do you have a list of these companies or maybe sectors that are more affected than others?
Thanks, Carl. I don't have such a list to hand here in front of me, so I would ask you to put that request into an email and we'll come back to you with details. But as a general point, I can only repeat that we are very concerned by the measures that China has taken. We're in constant contact with our industry and they flag to us their concerns in real time. And that's why we have taken the various strong steps we have taken and why we are looking to engage with China on this, to continue engaging with China on this rather, in order that a solution can be found.
Yes. Now to you, Jorge.
Yes, on this as well, Commissioner Šefčovič yesterday said that he will also speak with the G7 to discuss the matter. Will he speak to the G7 before or after speaking with his Chinese counterparts? And does he plan to speak separately with the White House? Because this issue was triggered by Trump's policy. So does he plan to speak first with the Americans? Thank you.
Thanks, Ori. I think the Commissioner made clear that he already has spoken to the US administration. I think it was with Secretary Lutnick in the past few days. So yes, we are engaging with the US on this topic. Yes, we have been engaging on it consistently at G7 level. I'm not sure what the precise timelines for the G7 meeting are. And as I mentioned, I don't know exactly when the Commissioner is meeting Minister Wentao, or Minister Wang rather. So please let me clarify the various timelines and I'll come back to you.
Thank you. Other questions to Olaf? No. Then we move on to a different subject. Anna.
Hi. Good morning. Ana Martinez with the Portuguese news agency Lusa. My question is for Marcos, actually, too. The Commissioner said yesterday that last Sunday the EU successfully launched the entry-exit system. However, in Portugal, and especially at the Lisbon Airport, the situation has been quite chaotic. The waiting time has been over 90 minutes. So I wonder if the Commission is aware of this situation, is helping the Portuguese authorities, and what can be done to avoid this situation. Thank you so much.
Marcos, on the entry-exit system that kicked in last Sunday, and we're hearing from Anna that there are some issues.
Anna, thank you very much. Can you repeat the question?
Hi. Yes, I can repeat it. So last Sunday, the new system entered into force, the entry-exit system. Yesterday, the Commission said that it was a successfully launch of the new system, but there have been some problems in Portugal, and especially at Lisbon Airport. Yesterday, the waiting time was over 90 minutes related to the system. So I wonder if the Commission is aware of the situation, is in contact with the Portuguese authorities, and what can be done in order to avoid this. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. Yes, indeed, 29 Schengen countries have successfully launched the entry-exit system on Sunday. Rolling out such a large system is a complex and complicated task. This is why we have a built-in transition period, a phase-in period of 6 months, which allows for a gradual introduction of the new system. It also includes the possibility to fall back into the current system whenever anything occurs that might hamper the new system. I'm not informed about anything that happened in Portugal, but I'm happy to come back to you on this specific point.
Follow up, Anna.
So is this your recommendation to Portuguese authorities to use the previous system when these type of situations happen, like the waiting time of over 90 minutes? Thank you.
I'm not aware of the specific events you mentioned. In general, this is how the system is built, and it's exactly for cases where possible queues might arrive that the system can be used in the way that I described it.
So there's this safeguard in the mechanism if we see that there are big delays linked to the system. Now we come to your question.
I'll just repeat. Michał Goskiewicz for the Polish section of the Deutsche Welle. We were supposed to know today about how's it going with the exemption of Poland from the Migration Pact. That decision was, well now it's going to be postponed. My first question is how long might we wait? And when can we expect the announcement and what exactly it will contain, of course?
Much, yes. This is a question that was also replied to by Commissioner Brunner yesterday at the JHA Council. This is the first time that we are launching the annual migration cycle under the Pact. We are taking some more time to properly calibrate all the aspects. Close consultations with Member States are ongoing, including yesterday in the margins of the Home Affairs Ministers meeting in Luxembourg. We plan on finalizing the consultations soon, and we will, of course, inform you as soon as the date can be confirmed.
No concrete date for the moment. Thank you, Marcos. Other questions to Marcos? Yes. Giovanni.
Marcos, Giovanni Del Re for the Technici per Avvenire. Speaking about migration and the solidarity pool, some member states are insisting that you cannot have solidarity as long as countries like Italy or Greece don't restart applying Dublin for secondary movement. I'm not sure the Commissioner yesterday replied on this issue in particular. What is the Commission answering to these positions from these member states? Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm not aware of any positions made public on this, but as a matter of fact, as we've said already in our Commission communication on the implementation of the Pact earlier this year, it is necessary to make as much progress as possible in implementing the Pact ahead of the start of the annual migration and asylum cycle and ahead of the start of the full application of the Pact. And in particular, it is key that there are no major deficiencies in applying the current rules, because this can have an impact on how the assessment of pressure works and how the Pact works overall.
Good. Other questions to Marcus? I see online David Carretta.
Yes, thank you very much, Paola. David Carretta, Red Radicale. Marcus, can you confirm that the proposal for solidarity pools is a litigation for the European Commission?
David,
secondly,
David, sorry to interrupt because the sound was cut for 1 second long. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, thank you. I would like to know if the proposal for solidarity pools is a legal obligation for the European Commission. And the second question is more political. Since you are asking member states to start implementing the pact, to accelerate and so on, I just don't understand why you are delaying, in fact, an important part of the pact.
David, thanks very much. I think I replied to the question just now. It's the first time that we're launching the cycle under the Pact, and we're taking some more time to properly calibrate all the aspects, including by consulting with member states. So we will finalize these consultations soon. That's what we're planning on, and we will confirm you soon on the results and when we can confirm a date.
Yes, Marcus. Other questions? Yes, please.
Hi, Camille Condessu from AFP. Unless mistaken, as of now, I know we're still in the preliminary stages. No country has come forward saying they'd be willing to take in asylum seekers. Everybody has said financial contribution or something else. Has the EU already started, the Commission already started working on contingency plans or ways to sort of convince people otherwise? Thanks.
Thanks very much, Camille, for the question. Look, the pact entered into force in 2024. It will be fully applicable in 2026. We are working with member states on all fronts, with all member states, on making this happen. And this is what we're doing, and this is what we will continue doing. Huh?
Good. Other questions for Marcus? No. Then we change topic. Razia. You don't want to go first? Okay, then listen, then it won't be neither one nor the other because you both ask questions for the moment. Then let's give Christian Ernhede the possibility online, and then I'll come back to you. Christian, we cannot hear you. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, good. Hi, Christian Ernhede with Ends Europe. I have a question on the deforestation regulation, and I was wondering, what exactly are you planning to table here? Is it a mere delay, or are you also planning to table further simplifications to the regulation? I know we've asked this question previously, but I also understand that the proposal is moving forward. Thank you.
Yes, Bala stepping in for Maciej. Indeed, we had the question yesterday. Maybe we can get back to it just to also clarify what is at stake here.
Indeed, not much, Balázs, yes. Not much, Christian, to add to what I said yesterday. So there was an announcement from the Commission about our intention to postpone the entry into application of the EUDR by 1 year due to IT capacity issues, and the Commission will present soon the way forward in this regard. So this is our current position. Cannot go beyond it at the moment. Now, as things stand, of course, there is the EUDR. Entry into application for large enterprises is foreseen at the moment for this year, and then next year for smaller enterprises. But again, to be seen how we are going to take this forward. There's a reflection process ongoing, and I seek a little bit of patience from you at the moment.
There you go. Other questions? Now we can come to you, Jorge.
Yes, it's about the visit of Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó. He went to Moscow and participated in a conference about energy, and he took the opportunity to criticize the policies of the European Union. So how do you feel about the fact that a representative of a member state went to a country that you consider an adversary and criticized your policies? Thank you.
Thank you, Jorge. As a matter of principle, any bilateral contacts by EU member states should respect the EU position and policies, in particular when we're scaling down these relations to the minimum. And, of course, being in Moscow right now is not the right message to be sent to Putin, because time and context matters. This is why we're working continuously on the sanctions and also on gearing up our support for Ukraine.
Other questions to Anita? Now, Moza, I know that you wanted to follow up, which I had not seen, on your prior question, which concerned humanitarian aid. So since we're now on the foreign affairs again, we can call you in, even though it will probably be for, let's see, whether for Eva or for Anwar. Moza? Moza left? Okay. Moza left. We haven't seen him leaving. Good. Other questions? Now, Razia, you ready for your question?
Thank you. My question is about SAFE. There had been a report in the Greek media about how the German minister was going to put pressure on the Greeks to basically support Turkey and the SAFE. So I just wanted to ask what was going on, because it's not really a subject I'm super comfortable with, but to the best of my knowledge, Turkey and South Korea applied mid-September. There has yet been no decision, and I just wanted to know whether the European Commission backs Turkey being part of SAFE and whether there's been any discussions about development progression on that issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Razia. Yes, we have a reply for that.
Hello. Yes, indeed, Razia. Let me start by saying that if we as Commission back Turkey to join SAFE, this will have to be done via our usual procedures, so we would have to adopt a recommendation that we would send to the Council. If the Council endorses that recommendation, then we could start bilateral negotiations to include Turkey to our SAFE program. This is not the case as we speak, so we indeed received a request from Turkey. We also received one from South Korea. Our services are carefully analyzing these requests before deciding on any potential next steps. Now, let me put things into the general picture again. We said it several times from this podium. We take, of course, concerns from our member states extremely seriously. We have safeguards in place in our regulation to make sure that no third country can contravene to the interests of one of our member states or the European Union. So we will always, without making any link to Turkey, obviously, this is a general comment on the fact that we, of course, take concerns from our member states extremely seriously.
Thank you. Thomas? Other questions to Thomas? No. Other questions in general? No? We're keeping it very short and efficient these 2 days. Thank you very much. Bon appétit, tout le monde. And see you at the technical briefing.